Hi children, today's chemistry topic is ammonia. In the last class we studied about that nitrogen and hydrogen due to the combination in the presence of iron catalyst and molybdenum promoter at 773 Kelvin the ammonia it is produced. That process we said about that Haber process. That is one method of preparation of ammonia in the laboratory. But from the nature itself there is a chance to get the ammonia. How? By the natural decomposition of the plants and vegetable bodies. The natural decomposition of plants and vegetable bodies, it is occurring because of the death and decay of plants and animals. So when the plants and animals, because of their death, there is a nitrogen compound, it is present in them. That nitrogen compound undergoes the decomposition. So it results the ammonia. So example it is urea. Urea's chemical formula here I written, that is NH2CONH2. This is the nitrogen compound present in the organic matter. That means nitrogenous organic matter. I said early, this is the natural compound. It is getting from the death or decay of the plants and animals. Then due to this decomposition, means it is with water, it results ammonium carbonate, and this on decomposition it results the ammonia formation. So the ammonia it is getting from nature also by the decomposition, by the natural decomposition of this nitrogenous organic matter. That is the one method of getting the ammonia from nature, from the death and decay of plants and animals. And the second method it is ammonia is also occurring in the soil in the form of ammonium salts. In the form of ammonium salts, that way also ammonium it is present in the soil. These are the two ways we are getting the ammonia from nature. Then in this video I am going to be discuss mainly the preparation and properties of this ammonia. Yes, first one, preparation of ammonia. On small scale ammonia, that means very little amount of ammonia, when it is needed, it is obtained from the ammonium salts. Ammonium chloride. When it reacts with the caustic soda means calcium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, there is a decomposition of this ammonium chloride, it results. And it forms ammonia. So when this decomposition occurs, you need ammonia. So NH3 you have to be taken from this two molecules. So two hydrogen molecule also remaining there. That two hydrogen molecule here, and also this OH part together it will be results water molecule. And next thing, 2Cl it is here, and here one Ca it is there, CaCl2 also forms. So along with ammonia there is some side product also formed. Then ammonium salts only they said. So ammonium chloride or any other ammonium salts we can use it. So ammonium sulfate when you take in the presence of caustic soda or sodium hydroxide, decomposition of this ammonium salt it is occurring. So due to this decomposition, the product formed here, the water molecule here, and this H and OH, due to that water molecule it is resulting, and from this NH3 also resulting, and also remaining part Na2SO4 likewise it is there. So likewise it is able to be prepare ammonia. That is the first method of preparation of ammonia. This is the method we are using for the preparation of small scale ammonia. On large scale production of ammonia we are using Haber's process. Haber's process means nitrogen and hydrogen when we are trying to heat in the presence of 773 Kelvin, and also iron as a catalyst and molybdenum as a promoter, you will get ammonia. Their enthalpy of formation reaction it is given, that it is an exothermic reaction. Minus, that means forward reaction it is exothermic and backward reaction it is endothermic. You know that this reaction it is reversible, and the forward reaction is exothermic, and you know that the reaction proceeds with a decrease in volume. Why? Because here 1 mole and this is 3 mole. So 1 mole plus 3 mole, 4 mole, it is changed to 2 mole. So decrease in volume also occurring during this reaction. But we need large amount of ammonia production. So for that, what all favorable conditions it is needed for the ammonia production more. So for that we are applying the Le Chatelier's principle. What's the Le Chatelier's principle? According to Le Chatelier's principle, if a system in equilibrium, this one, if a system is in equilibrium, is subject to change in concentration, pressure or temperature, thus equilibrium will shift in the direction that tends to reduce or to counteract the effect of change. That is said to be the Le Chatelier's principle. So we can increase the temperature or decrease temperature, or we can change the concentration, we can change the pressure. So these three methods we are mainly using for increasing or decreasing the product formation with the help of this Le Chatelier's principle. For this ammonia production, which all favorable conditions we are applying. So try to do. Here, about temperature we can discuss first. So the temperature's case, according to Le Chatelier's principle, if the temperature of the system at equilibrium is increased, when we are trying to increase the temperature, the equilibrium is trying to reduce the effect of change. So how the way, if the temperature is increased, the equilibrium shift in the direction in which heat is absorbed. How much energy we given, the equilibrium, here one is exothermic, another is endothermic. No, heat expelled out, it is exothermic, heat absorbed one, it is endothermic. So when we increase the temperature, the system is trying to reduce that with the help of the change in direction of heat is absorbed one, that is endothermic one. So when we applying the temperature, when we increasing the temperature, reaction proceeds with the endothermic direction. When we are trying to decrease the temperature, the system is following the exothermic direction. Okay, so here in this context we need ammonia more. So which one? The forward reaction it is exothermic, and backward reaction it is endothermic. So exothermic reaction we need. So at that time, decrease or increase temperature we need. I said no, increase of temperature results endothermic reaction, and decrease of temperature results exothermic. So here, for getting more amount of ammonia, we are preferring low temperature, decrease of temperature. Then only the reaction will follow the exothermic way. Okay. Then, so low temperature is the preferable one. First condition to get more amount of ammonia according to Le Chatelier's principle. Then with high pressure. How the way high pressure? In the case of pressure, we can tell that the increase of pressure on the system at equilibrium will shift the equilibrium in direction in which the pressure is reduced. That means equilibrium will shift the direction which has the smaller number of moles of the gaseous substances. Here in this reactant side 4 and this side 2. So always shift is, when we are increasing the temperature, the shift it is going from higher number of moles to lower number of moles when we are increasing the pressure. So here 4 here, 2 here, so higher to lower it is favorable, because lower number of molecules it is favoring the formation of ammonia. So increase of pressure it is the next favorable condition for producing the more ammonia. Yes, the next one it is the catalyst. So for increasing the speed of the reaction, you studied that the catalyst it is needed. So for this ammonia's preparation, in the case of this Haber process, we are using molybdenum or alumina, it is used as a promoter. So this promoter's role is to increasing the effect of catalyst. Catalyst here we using it is the iron. So the mixture of iron oxide and potassium aluminate has been also be used for getting more effectively the work. And also the catalyst iron oxide containing Al2O3 and K2O3 also used in this process. Mainly we are using iron molybdenum mixture. So iron is a catalyst, molybdenum is a promoter. Promoter's role is to increase the efficiency of this catalyst. Not only that, iron oxide and Al2O3 in the presence of K2O. This is also used as a catalyst. Then another thing, iron oxide, then Fe2O3, then potassium aluminate. Potassium aluminate also we are using for this work effectively. So catalyst is having some role in the case of this production of the ammonia. So there is mainly three methods, three conditions we are using for getting more amount of ammonia in the Haber's process. That's according to Le Chatelier's principle, that is low temperature, high pressure, and also the catalyst. Okay. This is the flow chart for the manufacturing of the ammonia. Here nitrogen and hydrogen, the mixture of this hydrogen and nitrogen, we pass into this compressor. From this compressor, the compressed gas, it is passed through the ammonia converter. Here catalyst here we are using is iron oxide and also Al2O3 in the presence of K2O. This is the method we are using now. In the earlier times we said about that iron plus molybdenum, it is used as a catalyst. So at 700 Kelvin, the ammonia converter, from that it is able to get the liquid ammonia. The unreacted nitrogen and hydrogen gas which escape condensation are recirculated through the converter. Okay, this is just a flow chart, just go through that. Okay, the next one, properties of ammonia. Ammonia is a colorless with pungent odor and soapy and alkaline taste. Next one, it is lighter than air. And third one, when we try to inhale ammonia suddenly, it brings tears into our eyes. The next one, it is easily be liquefied at room temperature by applying when we apply simple pressure at the same time itself, the ammonia, it is easy to be liquefied. The next one, freezing and boiling points are 198.4 and 239.7 Kelvin. So high melting and boiling point, you can see what's the reason? Hydrogen bonding that we discussed earlier. The ammonia, it is like this. Then next ammonia, with that it is having the hydrogen bonding facility. That's why the strong bond, for that breaking large amount of energy needed. That's why temperature, it is more needed for that melting or boiling. Next one, about structure, it is having trigonal pyramidal structure. Then that structure we discussed early, there is a 3 bond pairs and 1 set of lone pair. Here the bond angle between them, it is 107.8 degree and the bond length, it is 101.7 picometer. About this structure, that much only. First, many times we discussed, for avoiding the lone pair bond pair repulsion, the bond angle, it is reduced from the tetrahedral bond angle to 109 degree 28 minutes to 107 degree. Likewise explanation many times we discussed. Then about solubility, the ammonia, it is very highly soluble. So because of its highly solubility, when we are trying to collect just imagine, this is the water. When the ammonia comes over this water, it's very difficult to collect the ammonia from this water over this water. Why? Because this ammonia, it is highly soluble in water. So when it is soluble it's not easy to get the ammonia from water. So because of high solubility in water, that gas cannot be collected over water. Okay. Next, chemical properties of ammonia. First one, basic character. You know that ammonia, because of the presence of lone pairs of electrons, there is a chance to donate this lone pairs of electrons to other electron deficient substances. That's why it can act as a Lewis base. That discussion we did it in the last class. So in aqueous solution, you can see its nature as a base, Lewis base. So this is ammonia with lone pairs of electrons. What we said about that Lewis base, it can tendency to donate the lone pairs of electrons to others. So this is the water molecule, here HOH, here be written. 2 set of lone pair, it's there for the oxygen. So here this ammonia, this lone pairs of electrons, it is donating to this hydrogen. So when we donating this lone pairs of electrons, they're creating a bond between this, and nitrogen lost its electron, that's why it is having the positive charge. So what happens when there is a connection here, positive charge and hydrogen, it is formed in this reaction. Then at the same time, you can see that one bond, when it is created here, automatically this bond, it is shifting towards this. Here you can see when the bond, if it is shifting you can see with minus charge it is existing. So OH minus ions, hydroxide ion, it is formed in the aqueous solution of the ammonia. So because of the presence of OH minus ions in the solution, this aqueous solution of ammonia, it is said to be weakly basic in nature. Right? Then next one, you know that when it is a base, it is surely changing the red litmus to blue, and it reacts with, when it is a base, it reacts with acids to form salts. So in the aqueous solution and also the ammonia alone, it acts as a base. Aqueous solution, it is said to be the weakly basic one. Then you know that how the way it is forming the salts, because when it combines with the base already we said about that ammonia is a base. So ammonia, when it reacts with acid, you know that acid plus base combination, it results the salt. So ammonia plus HCl, it results NH4Cl, that it is a salt, and ammonia plus H2SO4, it results ammonium sulfate, also a salt. So salt formation, it is possible. Right? Then next thing, as a weak base, the ammonium hydroxide, we studied that the aqueous solution of ammonia, it is a weak base. This weak base, when it reacts with the metallic salt solutions, due to this combination, it results either hydroxides, otherwise the hydrated oxides of that metals, it will be resulting. That it will be resulting as a precipitate. So with one example we can explain. Zinc sulfate, it is a metallic salt solution. When it reacts with weak base aqueous solution of ammonia, due to this combination, zinc hydroxide, it is formed. That means we said about that either hydroxide or hydrated oxide. So here hydroxide, it is resulting, and rest of the portion you have to be join it here. Right? That means ammonium sulfate, it is forming. So this hydroxide, it is a precipitate formed here. This is one of the chemical reaction. Then when aqueous solution of the ammonia, when it treated with the salt solutions, metallic salt solution, here metallic salt solution is iron chloride. Okay, so due to this combination, what happens? The hydrated oxide means, hydrated means water, and this is oxide, metallic oxide. Hydrated metallic oxide, it is resulting here. This will be resulting as a precipitate. So Fe2O3 XH2O, along with that ammonium chloride, it is resulting. So this is one of the chemical reactions of this ammonia. Next one, formation of complex compounds. Yes, we said many times the lone pairs of electrons of this ammonia, it results it as a Lewis base. Because of its capacity to donate the electron pair, it forms a link between the metal ions. So here, in the case of ammonia, there is a lone pairs of electron. They are creating a link with the metal ion, because the metal ion means there is a shortage of electron. That's why it is acting as a positive charge. So this lone pair, it acts as a link between this ammonia and also the metal ion, and forms complex compounds. Okay, with the example we can. So here the NH3 4 and Cu2 plus, it's the Cu2 plus solution, it is blue solution. So because of the linkage of this lone pairs of electrons with the Cu, it results this complex. So it is having deep blue in color. Okay, then here AgCl is formed here. AgCl is, it's already a white precipitate one. Then it reacts with ammonia. It forms a colorless complex. That colorless complex, it is soluble in water. Next one, uses of ammonia. Lot of uses for this ammonia. It is used as to produce various nitrogenous fertilizers, ammonium nitrate, ammonium phosphate, and ammonium sulfate. Then next one, it is used in the manufacturing of nitric acid by Ostwald's process. And next one, it is used for the manufacturing of sodium carbonate, that you studied in the last year, by Solvay's process. And the next one, in the manufacturing of rayon and urea. The next one, it is used as a refrigerant in ice plants. And sixth one, it is used as a cleansing agent for furniture and glass surfaces. Okay.